So normally what happens is that whenever we devotees, we are told to take some professional trainings in parenting or anything, counseling. Our first reaction is that we are following the process. I'm reading books. Why do I need any special training? Why do I need to take counseling? Uh, for example, career counseling. What is the need? That is how our first reaction is. Parenting. Array, I'm just reading and all. No. So what happens is the uh, these principles which are taken from Srila Prabhupada's books only. So these specialists, they pick up Srila Prabhupada's teaching and then they create a special presentation based on those principles. And therefore there is a need. Sometimes in our congregation there is a you know uh, training program for stopping abuse of children or protection of sexual harassment. So we feel, why? I'm following four regulative principles so nicely. So still. And I myself, when I look back at my own self, I feel that I could have been a better parent, allowing free will of the children if I would have taken training. Although I may say that, no, I was following the process. No, you are following the process, still you need some special training. So first topic is for everybody, what I have chosen, that some etiquettes with dealing with other devotee children, then we'll talk about our own. So the first etiquette, I've just derived 8 principles here. And the first principle, we were at one event where many devotee children were there. And, one child pushed Sambit. So Sambit came to me and Sambit said, Baba, this boy, he pushed me like this. So his expectation was that I, get up, I find that boy and I fire him. That you push Sambit? So then Sambit becomes very happy that, he pushed me, my father fired him. I didn't do anything. I said to Sambit that if you feel that he has done, you are also devotee. If you feel that this devotee kid has done something wrong with you, then you should inform his mother. His mother was sitting in front of me only. I also didn't talk with the mother. I said that this is the Mataji and you have to speak with the mother. So that's one principle. Any kid, if you feel is misbehaving, instead of you shouting at them, you correcting them, even if he misbehaves with you or your kid, we inform the parent. Okay. And that too in a mood of helping the kid. Even if that kid is shouting at you, you should not shout at the kid. You are grossly understanding ki, and then we immediately feel that he is a bigda hua bacha, the spoiled brat. Even if you feel that, even it may be true, even if everybody sitting there is feeling that this boy is doing wrong, still you don't shout it. And one reason I would give for that is that if a small child shouts at you, you are not going to leave Krishna consciousness. But if you shout at that child in the temple, any satsang, any event, there is a chance that he will leave Krishna consciousness. Even adults, they leave Krishna consciousness if somebody shouts at them. But nobody leaves Krishna consciousness if a child shouts at them. So one principle we should always follow, that we are not going to shout at the child. And I'll come to this principle also. And why we should not shout? We have to understand the parents' struggle to make their children Krishna conscious. Both the husband and wife, father and mother of the child, they are existing, living, doing everything and anything in this world to make this child Krishna conscious. And if he misbehaves and we shout at him, and then the child goes back home and he says, I don't want to go to the temple. Imagine what must be happening to the parents. So, before even touching the topic upon how to cultivate our children, firstly, we have to careful about other children, because it should not happen that we are only busy in making our children Krishna Krishna. No, we are a family. So if we want to do something, we should help the parents to make the children devotees, their children, by giving a pleasant experience. Okay, so when our Achyutni Mai Prabhu comes here, Samvit is there. So before all of you came, Prabhuji was, Samvit was going to play down. So Prabhuji was talking to him, bat, ball, so how he plays, and then Samvit was telling how he hits a sixer. Then he said, I'm better in football. So he took out football, showed some kicks. So the child now loves counseling meetings, that these people who come, they come down to my level. Okay. Instead of sitting with him every time and just being after him. So how many rounds you are chanting, how many shlokas you have by hearted. So that they are anyways doing, the parents are, so he could relate. He could relate. There are many devotees who do like this to the kids. In the temple they are coming, then the kids have different interest. We used to have devotee kids in the temple who used to come with a bead bag and they used to carry ball inside the bead bag. And then with that ball in the courtyard they used to. And now these kids have become international kirtanyas. And we used to play with them, just to encourage them for playing. Why there is a kids zone in the yatra? You have been to the yatra, kids zone. So all the kids, they look forward for the yatra. So they said, kids zone. They look forward for the yatra. They are so excited. Samvit, I tell Samvit that Samvit yatra, he says kids zone. So because of that kids zone, pleasant experience, he is ready to come to Mayapur, he is ready to come to Vrindavan, he is ready to come to Puri and stay for 7 days. Okay. You ask Samvit about how about going to Vrindavan. So he is immediately excited. Because in Vrindavan there is a one play zone. There is Krishna's fun land. So I take him there every day. In the afternoon when all the darshans are closed, with Samvit, with Roshan, I send him. Well, I get up very early for Mangal Aarti. Roshan and Samvit are taking rest. So afternoon they don't take rest. So he looks forward to going to Vrindavan because of that. And he is ready till 12 o'clock. Rather he is waiting. Then you should find their area of interest. What is the area of interest? He likes to feed animals. So we take him to ISKCON Goshala, make him feed animals. Instead of telling him to chant 16 rounds in Vrindavan, they feed Brajvasis. So we carry lot of biscuits, Parle-Ji. So we give it to the Brajvasis. Whatever is their small spark, and that parents are struggling. So we also should help. Don't become their guru unless requested. We immediately want to become everybody's guru, every child's guru, and try to, guide that child, correct that child if he's doing something wrong. No, rather this principle not only applies for children, this principle applies for everything. Sometimes, people come with their friends, relatives, and they sit in the temple hall. Now, I do this seva in the evening of giving beads. So I just go there with the bead that we want the beads to chant, and some people do like this. So they are come with some devotee, or I see one tilak person. Sometimes they don't listen to them, but when we request, they take. But then sometimes even that person knows that they are not going to chant. They are somehow brought him to chant. So we don't force. Then sometimes I see some other devotee going there. Arey, I idhar baithe, le lo na, le lo. So now this person who has brought them to the temple, he knows that now they are not going to come again when forced. उसने उनको कैसा तो हाथ पैर पकड़ के he has got them to the temple. So I just neutral. We should be very neutral. So I don't try to become their guru. Want. Sometimes I start from the altar and go up to Prabhupada, and not a single person accepts a bid. I feel that's fine. I come back and I chant one round. After each round, I take a round like this with the beads, and anybody wants to chant. And then somehow this person is chanting, and then I see one person sitting there next to him intensely chanting, and he's getting disturbed by this new person who has taken the beads. And then he says, ऐसा नहीं, ये फिंगर मत यूज करो. अरे किधर, अभी इसने लाइफ में पहली बार बीड्स लिया है हाथ में, क्यों उसके पीछे पड़े? मैं बोला उसको मैं कैसे मोटिवेट करके, बच्चा बैठा है, उसको ये फिंगर मत यूज करो. I said, why are you pointing? तुम्हारा चैंटिंग करो ना, तुम क्यों डिस्टर्ब हो रहे हो? या बीड्स थोड़ा जमीन को टच हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है. अरे ठीक है यार, फर्स्ट टाइम दे हैव कम, दे आर सिटिंग, they are chanting. We have to learn to be tolerant. The way they are chanting. The way they are chanting. Krishna is very happy they are chanting. So unnecessary, don't try to become guru. Most important principle. Remember your childhood. How much masti you used to do with others, elders, shouting, how much offensive we were. Okay. And then if somebody, is doing running in the temple hall, child is running in the temple hall. Right? So yeah, it makes sound. So you can gently also, tell. Once the children were playing in the courtyard, so the security started running after them. But, नहीं नहीं इधर नहीं खेलेगा, इधर नहीं भागने का नहीं. So I went up to the security. I said, security, first thing भी जाएगा. तो आप बचपन में खेले हैं ना? हाँ, तो खेले. मंदिर में भी आपको लेके गए तो आप खेलते हैं? ऐसे okay. So that particular person, normally most of our security is also trained, and that he was a new person. So he immediately realized his mistake. I said, अरे हम लोग उनको घर से मोटिवेट करके इसके लिए लाते हैं कि उनको इधर डिवोटी फ्रेंड्स मिलेंगे, इधर थोड़ा सा पकड़ा पकड़ी खेलेंगे. So you understand this? So he said, yes, probably, sorry. You also realize. So this is why training is needed. That how we make our temple, our center, a child-friendly place where a child loves to go. Children, like Sambit was acting in the drama, they say, he didn't have a single line to speak. Scene number 6, he just came and did something and went. But he used to, for every practice, used to look forward that, drama practice, to be a drama practice. Because so many devotee kids, they used to meet, they used to play, they used to run around. So there also, if somebody used to go and tell the kids, I said, no, let them play, let them bond together. They will remember this for their whole life. They will look forward to come for the next drama also. So remember your child. Tolerate the nonsense done by the small children. Once you remember all these things, how we used to do nonsense, how the parents want them to give up nonsense and trying to make them into devotees. So our role would be that if some child is doing like that, there is no need for us, it's just a small child, we can always ignore it. Even if he's shouting in the temple hall, they're there for 5 minutes, although they are creating disturbance. It's okay. And inspire them by our own exemplary behavior. So these kids who come to the temple should feel, oh, these devotees are such nice people. So I want to go to the temple. That is not only for kids, that is for uh, everybody. Even in this, by our own example, a newcomer also. Okay. So these principles, I think, are general principles which all of us need to know. Okay. Which all of us need to know, and therefore we spoke about this. Am I audible over there, everybody? Nandalal Prabhu? Am I audible? You can just do like this. Everybody? Yeah. Thank you. So with that, we move to the next section. That what about our own kids? Okay. And since I checked with our council group, many of us are having small kids now, and we never talked about this. So just to start with, so every time we talk about Vaishnava etiquettes, so let us talk about smart parenting. Now, smart parenting, this is multiple places you will find references. This is specifically by Romapad Maharaj. SMART is an acronym with S for service, M is for Mahajano Yena Gathasa Pantha. A is affection, R is responsibility, and T is training. For those who have children, can look at it as how to use this smart parenting. Those who are not married, not having children, can look at it at how we can cultivate people in general also. Okay. So, the first thing about this first approach, 1 second. No? So, the attitude of a parent, a cultivator, should be attitude of a service. Okay, so parenting is not proprietorship. It's wrong to think that this child is my property, I am controlling. Okay, so parenting is service, soul to soul. So the conception that my child, my daughter, we always think, but this consciousness is wrong. This is Krishna. These are Krishna's kids. Okay, and we have a lot of expectations from them. Actually, devotee kids, they get burnt out because of expectations. We have only two expectations from them. Either he becomes Prahlad or he becomes Dhruv Maharaj. And then in between, if he suddenly says that I want to see Marvel movies, Spider-Man, I said, I thought you are Prahlad. So, look, kid, I don't do this. I have an expectation. How many times I have told you? If you keep on doing this, you are going to spoil my expectation. Huh? So don't try to be a controller always. Here, I would like to draw one point to your attention, that never, assume that your child is going to become a devotee. हम लोग assume करके चलते कि ये बच्चा डिवोटी बनने वाला है. अगर ये डिवोटी नहीं बना, if he doesn't become a devotee, and he just becomes a hardcore karmi. Then he looks back at his childhood, that you didn't allow me to watch Superman because you only told me Krishna. I didn't want to practice Krishna. You didn't allow me to watch Pushpa 1, Pushpa 2, Pushpa 3. By then, Pushpa 5, Pushpa 6. So, whatever is not dirty, but he goes to school and then everybody asks him, Ki, did you watch yesterday's India-Pakistan match? वो हर बार ना ना बोलेगा. फिर वो जब 18 साल का होएगा, then he will say कि you didn't allow me to play cricket, you didn't allow me to play football, watch it, which other kids are doing. So we keep on. It's not that उसके लिए जबरदस्ती we take him to Wankhede. But if he comes back from the school and tells us that everybody in my classroom have been to Water Kingdom and you have never taken me to water, you should say yes. This Sunday we are going to water. These are some playing things. It's not that it's breaking for regulatory principles. So all these experiences, and especially I have, with my own kids, this Wednesday was a public holiday. So we had gone to Wet and Joy. Now, people will say, "Hare Prabhuji, aap that day, Wednesday, I got up in Pune. I went to NVCC, 45 minutes away from Pashan. Pashan is at this end of Pune, NVCC. I went there, I chanted my 16 rounds. I did my book reading, everything. And after that, in between, for 2-3 hours, we took a break. And he enjoyed. Half an hour there were waves and all, and I was just there to watch it. So it's not considered as sinful. Rather, I would say if you are not taking them to such places, it is sinful. They should have good childhood memories, irrespective of whether they become devotees or they don't become devotees. What a normal kid gets in his childhood, they should get. Okay? Then, so parent is meant to be just Krishna's instruments. Like in preaching, we say, I am just an instrument. We should just be an instrument. So this is still, we are still on this. So detachment means we have to recognize that each soul has a free will. He has certain tendencies due to past material conditioning. From past life, he may be carrying some conditioning. Okay? And we may allow him sometimes to do something, but that doesn't mean that we stop caring. Just because he is asking for something which is not Krishna conscious, we still keep on caring for that. Okay? Then comes the M part, the second part. And that is very important. Mahajano yena gathasati. So parents should lead by example. But they should be good followers of their guides and teachers. When we shout, when we become angry, I have gone through all this. Then we realize that, and then we give lecture and how one should be sthita prajna. We sit with our child and let us read Gita. And then when they are reading together, a devotee never becomes angry. When he first looks. So, of course, it takes years to realize our mistakes. So, better to, read such literature, understand such things. The core feature, within Krishna conscious family, there is meditation on sound vibration, regular hearing, chanting. This is the core feature of example setting. What is important is quality of exchange between father and mother, that the child looks up to his or her parents and understand that what a loving exchange, how they are dealing with each other nicely as devotees. That is how what is called as Mahajano Yenagatha. So when parents are doing arti at home, child wants to ring the bell, offer arti. Sometimes, children will ask for their own altar. So give them their own small deity, small altar. Let them offer flower. Huh? So it is the duty of the parents to gradually train their dependent regarding the quality of corresponding consciousness. Guide them. Be careful. It is Krishna's property. So sometimes Nasrani tells them, this is Ladli Lal's home. So this is Krishna's home, not our home. These are articles belonging to Krishna. So we should also live in that mood and tell them also that house is also not ours. So child should not only feel love from the father and mother, but he should see love between father and mother also. It's very important for the child to experience. Okay. And never get into may put him in a bad position to choose one parent. Making him take sides is very wrong. So seeing a loving atmosphere, even if there is some disagreement, then the child is not take seriously. He sees that, okay, 100% there is, or rather 80%, 90% times there is loving atmosphere at home. And 10% times there is some disagreement, he will not mind it also. So that is going to happen. But 80% time there is disagreement, fine, 80, 90, 10% loving atmosphere then. So if there is some disagreement, best to not have it in front of the children and peacefully resolve it some other time. Okay. So SMA. Now we were discussing, we are on, so we are on this A, affection, love and detachment. No, still on this A, this is a very nice point. Now out of family life, this context is, and imagine a guest come to our temple. One devotee is treating them nicely, other devotees also treating them nicely. But when the guest sees the two devotees together are quarreling, then what message do they get? So, do I want to become part of this organization where you treat me nicely, but you treat each other badly? Maybe I'm better off as a visitor, being treated nicely than to be part of the other dynamics. So, new person comes, he's treating him nicely, he's treating him, and they are fighting. They said, I am new, so they are treating me nicely. So better let me remain new. So sometimes it happens ना, कोई नया, हम लोग ऐसे डिस्कस करते थे कि अगर यहाँ से हम लोग यूएस शिफ्ट हो गए, यूके शिफ्ट हो गए, तो एयरपोर्ट पे उतर के बीड बैग वगैरह, गले का बीड्स वगैरह सब निकालें, ऐसे जोकिंग हम थे, और बर्म्यूडा पहन के टेम्पल में जाएंगे, टी शर्ट पहन के, वो भी बीच वाला टी शर्ट, बीच वाला बर्म्यूडा. सो ऐसे लोग जब टेम्पल में आते हैं, सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज देन, अरे कम he will give you Rajbhog. They will give you Rajbhog. Yes. Right? But you enter there with dhoti kurta tilak, then they'll call you, say, come on, wash the vessels. Sunday fish, do some seva. So, people normally feel that if you are a guest, you are treated nicely. And you become part of that organization, then sometimes people take you for granted. They may shout at you, अरे ब्रो जी क्या कर रहे, सेवा करो चलो. गेस्ट जो नया है परमानेंट हरी बोला जाओ फर्स्ट टाइम आए, हाँ फर्स्ट टाइम, ये राजभोग है, ये महाप्रसाद, ये चरणम। And many people have expressed this. So like in council meeting, so all of you are coming for, they are coming for so long. So that just reminds me. रासराणी, दरवाजाच्या मागे एक गोल्डन कलरची पिशवी आहे, ती जराशी आण. Certificate. We should not forget. So this is the culture of our temple. You know, all of you did book distribution. So then Radhanath Maharaj, you know, personally, he said that no, each devotee should get a certificate. You cannot take these people for granted. Anybody who is doing service. So आप लोग बहुत दिन से आ रहे हैं, तो मैं आप लोगों को ग्रांटेड पकड़ता हूँ, ये तो क्या महीना तो आते रहते हैं, तो ये माता जी अभी अभी आने लगे तो आप लोगों को ध्यान दी कैसे, माता जी कैसे, ऐसा नहीं. एवरीबडी इवन दैट पर्सन हु इज कमिंग for long time, since long time, everybody has to be taken care properly. Now, affection, we are on SMA. So, affection means love and detachment, dono. So, normally people equate love with attachment. But real love on the platform of detachment from matter. I mean, detachment doesn't mean that I don't care. Rather, this is not my child, but this is Krishna's property. So I love him as Krishna's property. That is combination of love and detachment. हम लोग क्या होता है, either excessively attach हो जाते हैं, ये मेरा बच्चा है, या डिटैच हो जाते हैं, मेरा कुछ भी नहीं है. So that so life circumstances keep on changing because material world is changing. But the well-being of the soul is unchanging. The point is that caring for the soul is very important. This is regarding one devotee who was working in hospital, and day to day he was seeing people suffering, and they just become detached. No, it should not happen like that. They should not become hard-hearted, stone-hearted parents. Okay? So it should be combination of love and detachment. We love our child because he's Krishna's property. So every time we look at our child, you have to understand this is Krishna's property. Now coming to responsibility, the second last one. So parenting, cannot be taken lightly. It is a heavy responsibility, although very rewarding if properly done. There is a great responsibility for those who give shelter to others. This does not mean that spiritual master will deliver us and we will hang out. This is something regarding some good message for the disciples also. So parents should have a strong culture of sadhana before conception, during pregnancy, and even after that also. So it's still the duty remains that it is responsible to parents to deliver their dependents from cycle of birth and death. Now, why this point is there in parenting is that responsibility means, like we say that it's Guru's responsibility to deliver the disciples. It is parents' despite responsibility to deliver the children. मतलब आपको बच्चा हुआ है, मतलब एक आप अभी गुरु बन गए, और गुरु के ऊपर जैसे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. टुडे देयर वाज संन्यास सेरेमनी एट मीरा, कमल लोचन got sannyas. When he becomes a spiritual master, it will be his responsibility to deliver those who take initiation from him. That means he has to become that spiritually strong and elevated that he can deliver himself and he can deliver his disciples. For us, we have to become that much spiritually strong that we can deliver our children. तो जो जिनका शादी अभी तक हुआ नहीं है, होने वाला है, हुआ है, बच्चे नहीं है, हुआ है, बच्चे है, for all of you. Now, it's इसीलिए that this shloka is in Bhagavatam. Guru na sashat, pitra na janani na sashat. Don't become a father, mother, or a guru unless you are spiritually capable of delivering your dependent. That means now you have to become such a nice devotee that you should be able to deliver your child. So this is responsibility of the smart, SMAR. So for that, we have to read nicely. We have to chant nicely. तो अपने ही घर में हमारा टारगेट है कि इसको मुझे डिलीवर करना है. We have to actually deliver our parents also, if they are not devotees, or grandparents also, if they are not devotees. So sometimes we just chill. यार मेरा क्या है, युगावतार दास, डिसाइपल ऑफ राधानाथ महाराज, वो मुझे कैसे बैक टू गॉड एड लेके जाना है, वो राधानाथ महाराज देखे. That is why it is said. There is a great responsibility for those who give shelter to others. This does not mean that spiritual master will deliver us and we will hang out. No. We also have to be equally responsible. Last part is training. Okay. So we have to train the children. So husband and wife should immerse themselves in repeating, chanting before conception. And even after that, early stage of marriage, after they beget children. Srila Prabhupada has taught us that children should be trained in such a way that they have first class character, divine qualities, as Krishna described. So duty of the mother and father is to build the character. Character is more valuable than skills. Okay. So when Parikshit Maharaj was born, they did the Jataka Karma and priest saw the horoscope and told him that he is going to become a great devotee. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was very happy to hear that this child will follow his ancestors. Okay? So by leading with love and being faithful followers themselves, parents successfully transmit the following to their children. So when they see that the parents are my faithful followers, when they see that parents are also not that faithful, so they तो already वो तो बैठे ही हुए. They get inspired if they see we faithfully follow. Okay. So obedience immediately follows behind the loving action, which is consistent. One should train the members of the family in this way. The family can sit down morning, evening and chant together. Together. Very important. Very important. इसके लिए evening I make it a point many times that all of you sit together, do some arati. Evenings we are so tired from the office work. But then I make it a point. They shut the lights, get the beads, and let's chant together. Let's do some Narsimha Arati. Let's do some Tulsi Arati whenever we have time. You know, doing things together, uska impressions रहता है. So there have been times where members of our society neglected family responsibilities and focused more on preaching. This created problems, bigger problems. So when a family unit is very strong in Krishna consciousness, this has positive impact on many people. In the temple, it's so inspirational when they see a devotee couple coming for Sunday feast with their 2 children. ऐसा देखते हैं ना कि हमारे ब्रह्मचारी खुश हो जाते हैं, family unit is coming. Conversely, somebody is very active in the preaching field, but family life is in a mess. Then this is not going to be effective. So we have to be very careful that we don't do such things. Brahmachari should be good brahmacharis, sannyasis should be good sannyasis, and grahasthas should be good grahasthas. All collectively, cooperatively preach together. Okay. Then the children will emulate that same spirit happily and later not stray from the path of bhakti. So foundational principle in conclusion are very strong. If they are very strong, one is a better position to deal with the complexities and challenges of parenthood and fulfill the objective. So this is how we should try to become a smart parent. So these are some tips which I tried to collect on how we should try to become a good devotee by dealing with other children, by helping their parents. That was the first half. In, they are helping them in cultivation of their children, not spoiling it. And the second part is we ourselves, what we should do. Okay.